Alright, so here we are at Stampede Harley Davidson, and I'm looking at the first motorcycle that I'm going to demo on the demo days. This is a Harley Davidson Street 750. She is not a very big bike. So this key has multiple positions that I'm not used to. Oh, okay, yeah, yep. You know what? This bike is too small for me. Major hip cramps. Kind of painful. Where's the signal? There's the turn signal. Alright, so this is a motorcycle that I was considering as a first bike when instead I got my Honda CTX. And it is too small for someone of my frame. I've got some major hip cramps going on right now. And unlike most other Harleys, this does not have self-canceling turn signals. And I really can't see much out of the mirrors. I do have to say, a couple of months ago when I rode the 48, this is a much smoother motorcycle. And she doesn't quite feel as small. Oh, jeez. Not used to mid-mount pegs at all. And this clutch is way far out there as far as where the friction zone is on it, so just not used to not being able to stretch out. And I really can't see crap in these mirrors. So this is kind of a warm-up ride. Learn the route on something that's not that big, and then move up into some of the bigger Harleys later today. This isn't too bad at all. I could have gotten used to it. It is too small for me though. It's got good power, good pickup, decent handling, and if you could just adjust that clutch, life would be happier. So when I was first starting to, when I got the bug about a year ago to get into motorcycling, this little guy that I'm sitting on was a contender until I sat on one in a dealership and it just felt too small. Did not feel very big, and still does not feel very big. My Scout feels like it dwarfs it. My Scout is not a big bike. The mid-mount pegs, I'm sure, are fine if you're used to them. I'm not used to mid-mount pegs, so I feel like my feet are behind me, and it's weird because I need to know where my feet are based on how's it doing. Biker wave to see where my feet are. Used to having them out front, but the rest of the bikes I'll be on today are going to end up having forward pegs, and that'll be fine. One thing that I would recommend when you go out on a demo ride on a new bike that I've seen the experienced riders do and that I did not do, and that was a bit of a mistake this time around, was finding out where the friction zone is on the clutch before you pull out of the demo line. And they weren't rushing me or anything like that. I rushed myself. It's my fault, not anybody else's, but that's why I have a bit of an issue with where this thing is in first gear. Only display that we have here on the analog speedometer is the odometer. Now, it looks like it's got the reset. It might have a trip. Let's see, does it have a trip? Yeah, it has a trip odometer. Ooh, it has 2 trip odometers. And then the regular odometer, so that's it. And the button to switch through everything is on the actual instrument cluster, so probably not a good idea to do that while you're moving. I'm falling behind. Oh, wow, this is a real pretty demo ride because we get to avoid going through the city and stuff. Demo days at Stampede, Harley Davidson in Burleson, Texas. Shift's very smooth. Shift, I said shift. Shifting is very smooth. I hear a lot of YouTube reviews about this particular motorcycle, and a lot of the complaints that it gets are about the wiring down here looking a little sloppy, which I didn't really get a good look at before I got on it. About the rear brake feeling squishy, but that might just be because of where the pegs are, because I feel like I'm pushing the brake past down below the peg, which if I ever rode anything with mid mounts or a sport bike or something like that, that'd be perfectly normal. As my blinker was on. That's what that was. This bike does not have self-canceling turn signals. Every other Harley does, but the streets do not. Oh, and that just won't go anymore. I don't know why we're figuring out the route, I guess. One of the things that I've noticed is that the display, where the speedometer is and the warning lights, that they have some LED backlighting that comes in for them, but it's very skinny, so it's not as obvious, and so sometimes it's hard for me to see what's there. My eyes aren't the best, and I don't ride with my reading glasses on, so that's one thing. I do prefer my Scout over this one, but compared to the 48, the 1200 Sportster 48 that I rode a couple of months back at a demo day, I do like this bike better than that. I would rather that it had forward mounted pegs. I'd like to have a little bit more room on the bar. I feel like my hands are real close to each other, which if I rode sport bikes wouldn't be a big deal, but I don't ride sport bikes. Okay, yeah, that's not as much power as I would hope. I backed, twisted the throttle. I'm not sure what. I was in 5th gear, doing about 45 in 5th gear, which on mine would compare with 45 in 4th gear. And twisting the throttle as much as I did that time, I would have launched. To this time, I'm just trying to not bumpy road. Just trying to not get in trouble with the sweep rider behind me or anything like that. I do have to say it's a lot easier to cover the brake with the mid-mount pegs. But everything on this motorcycle is very compact. It's not the best motorcycle for somebody who's 6'2", like me, but somebody who's a little smaller might just be perfectly comfortable on this motorcycle. It's got smooth power delivery. It's got smooth shifting in the transmission. Not the best visibility out of the mirrors. So, yeah. I look like a circus bear on this thing, I'm sure.